lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell instead of death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
What's going on, nerds? Welcome to another Thursday Live, and a really fun Thursday Live that is also, guess what, for a really good cause. So we've got a heckin' awesome dude with us here tonight. We're going to talk all about the cause that he's supporting. We'll give you guys a background on what we're actually doing with this, and hopefully you want to buy in. Hopefully you want one of these sick shirts that he's actually wearing here. So I want to introduce underscore that bass fishing dude underscore, aka Brandon Mays. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, dude? How y'all doing, man? I'm doing great.
We're good, man. And you get full screen now. There we go. Look at that.
Nailed it.
So Brandon's actually on a road trip. So he is fishing a tourney. You said what? This is a kayak tourney. You got like 100 folks in the tournament right now, right?
Yep. It's about
That's
100
awesome.
people in total. And did that freeze?
No,
You're live.
we got you.
Okay, there we go. Good. Perfect.
Yeah, so he's actually coming to us live from a church parking lot in the middle of heckin' nowhere, which is, par for the course on this show. That's what we appreciate. And we were laughing before the show because this isn't the first time that we've done a video in a church parking lot.
Yeah.
It seems commonplace. So you're fitting right in, brother. But thanks for taking the time tonight, hanging out with us. And like I said, these folks, this chat right here, these are the people. These are our nerds, and they come out to play. So I'm sure that we're going to be flipping some shirts for you tonight, and it should be a good time. So we're going to get into the cause, you guys. We're going to talk all about this. It is Autism Awareness or Autism Acceptance Month, however you want to really look at it. Autism is near and dear to my heart. We're going to get Brandon's story as well. But as you guys know, I've got a 6-year-old daughter living with autism. I know exactly what it's like, to be with her every day, to try to understand the world through her eyes. Is totally different, and that's what you got to be at peace with. Like, you can't just make things happen. I can't just be like, hey, don't be upset right now, because she's just experiencing things differently. And there are obviously multitudes of people out there that are going through the exact same thing. There's a ton of kids out there going through the same thing. And there's a lot of families that are trying to just make a good life for those kids, depending on where they fall in that spectrum. And there's a lot of amazing organizations that we've worked with on the show, including Autism Anglers, including Cast for Kids, including what Brandon's going to talk about here in a second, that we definitely want you guys to support, because it really helps these families out. You have no idea. If you're not personally experiencing this, it's just really, it feels really good just to contribute in some way, shape, or form. So really appreciate what Brandon's doing, and we're going to dive into it. Here's the deal. Quick news and noteworthy before we get to the meat and potatoes of the show. As you guys know, we were announced to be going to Texas. We're not going to Texas. We're actually going to Gunnersville, Alabama. So we're going to be fishing Lake Gunnersville next month at some point with the Monster Bass team. Yeah, it's at some near future date, we will be on Lake Gunnersville with our yaks.
Be there in May.
We will be there. So we're going to take a trailer. We're going to bring our kayaks down, new pan optics, and all of that. So we're going to have to work out the kinks before we get there. And it's going to be a blast. So stay tuned for that. But we do want to give a shout out to Veterans Creed tournament. The Veterans Creed tournament, sponsored by Monster Bass. Those guys are doing awesome things to support veterans. It's a fantastic tournament. Anybody can enter. It's online, I believe, right? Like the guys obviously are fishing there too, but you can still show some support. So go check out Veterans Creed and stay tuned to the Monster Bass channel. You're going to see a lot of awesome content coming out of that. And then I know Alex Rudd is going to be there, as well as Fishing the Lone Star and a bunch of the other Monster Bass guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jeremy is so he runs social media for Monster Bass now, and we work with him all the time. Super cool guy, doing awesome stuff, and yeah, he's obviously out there supporting the folks. So I love it. Other than that, mainly we're going to focus on autism awareness campaign tonight, and therefore we have some giveaways for you guys. So it's not enough. Look at the shirt, Brandon. Would you mind showing them the shirt? Just give them the full 7 foot. What are you? 7'11", 7'14"?
7 foot even.
Nice. So there you go. That is the shirt. See the able, not the label. It's a cool shirt. I got one. Paul's got one. We're probably going to order extras now. And he's also got hoodies, which come in gray. If you guys look at his Instagram channel, again, it's that bass fishing dude with an underscore at either end of it. But if you just type in that bass fishing dude, it comes up, and you can see some of the hoodies and stuff like that. The gray hoodie is pretty awesome as well. So you can order some of those. It's what's the cost, Brandon, real quick? 25 for the shirts, 35 for the hoodie.
Yeah, and then there's also a youth T-shirt that's $23 as well. So
Cool.
Get one
Awesome.
for your kiddo as well.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys got kiddos, want a rocking shirt with it's got a kayak on it, bass on it, it's got the puzzle pieces with the dude holding up the bass with the oars behind him, dude, it's awesome. So you're gonna want that. So if you guys help us out tonight, if you help us sell some shirts, we'll be checking in on that. But just participate. We'll do kind of an honor system. We believe in you guys. We know the nerds come out to play. We're gonna run some giveaways. In fact, Paul, are we running one now with Q of the D?
Now. I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick which one. They're both in Monster Bass bags, because that's how we do it around here.
You're gonna label them bag 1 and bag 2 then.
They both have the Ned Rig Nerd decal in there.
Ooh.
But one has more crankbaits and one has more stuff like line and swag in it. So do we want the line and swag one or do we want the baits one?
Let's start with line and swag. We'll do the baits later in the show.
That means this one.
Okay, cool. So line and swag is on the line, you guys. You got to type something into chat, and the link to the shirts is pinned in chat. So if you could, please click that link and go buy a shirt. And we're going to give you a minute to do that while we do our Q of the day, and then we'll draw our winner. All right, let's get into it.
All right, Q of the D. This is our fun question. There's no right answers, but you can be kind of wrong. You can be less right. You can be less right. All right, so this one, it is going to be Easter themed because I've been eating Easter candy all week. So I got 2 kids. Like I gave away 3 pounds of it, and I still had like 4 pounds at home. I don't know what you want from me.
Because everybody wants to throw candy at you on Easter.
I'm a weak-willed individual. They got 3 or 4 bags. Like, what do you expect from me? All right, so literally just a dump. Okay, I want your number 1 most premium favorite Easter candy item, but then I also want your most underrated Easter egg item.
That's tough.
I know. These are difficult. I don't.
All right, you go. Then Brandon goes. Then I'll go.
I'll go first. My number 1, and this is the new number 1. Typically, I'm the Reese's that are the eggs because those are the freshest Reese's you're going to get all year. It's not even close. They decimate all other candies except for I just discovered you can take a Kit Kat and you can just dip it in peanut butter. I didn't know that you could do that. I thought that
does that count as a candy? You just made that up,
dude. It surpasses so many other things.
I don't know if you know this, but you can dip anything in peanut butter.
I just found out.
Did you know?
I just found out. It's incredible. So that's my number 1. My most underrated. And this to me, it was so self-evident once I ate one. You know the Whopper eggs?
Yeah.
Dude, underrated. They look like trash. They do not look
trash.
good. The whole bag looks like crap. Those things are delicious. So that's my most underrated.
I love it.
Fight me.
All right. Brandon's up. What's your top and your most underrated?
All right. So everybody knows Easter and Reese's go together like peas and carrots. So it's obviously the eggs, just like Paul said. I mean, and then second, my most underrated is the left Twix.
Gotta be the Twix.
Gotta be the left ones, bro.
All right, so hang on. What is the difference between the left and the right Twix? Because I haven't figured that.
They're made in. Everybody knows that.
The right ones are not very good. You got to get the left ones.
Okay.
I imagine your trash can just has like no left Twix, half a right Twix, because you were like, I tried, and it still sucks.
I don't even eat the right ones. My wife buys the bags, and she buys the one that only has the left ones in it, because I won't eat the right one.
Smart. All right. Real quick before I go.
I'm crazy, and I'm pretty sure everybody else on here thinks I'm nuts too. But she swears up and down. She's like, they're literally the same, but they're really not.
But they're not though.
I mean, now I'm going to have to do a test. So I just want to call out real quick in the chat. We did have a super chat from Andrew Osmond for $10. So thank you for finding a way to donate. There are better ways to donate. So we appreciate you. Tell you what, we'll just buy a shirt to contribute that. So
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you.
I'm doing it right now.
So don't worry, you know, that's not going to waste at all. But instead of YouTube getting half of it, what we'd like you guys to do tonight, other nights, super chat us all day. We love support. Thank you. But for tonight, no super chats. And Brandon, I was going to ask you, is there like a link you have just to donate if they're not able to say pay the full amount for a shirt or something?
Yep. Let me here. I'll send you the link to where they can donate directly to Austin's Autistic Adventures, which is the organization. And then
okay, cool. So while Brandon does that, yep, Brandon's going to do that. I'll answer. And then what we'll do is Charles is going to add that link into chat as well. So any y'all, if you want to do something more than a shirt, you want to contribute in a different way. And we're going to talk about the organization in a minute here. So don't worry. Or if you can't pay the full amount, $25 or $23 for the U shirt, whatever it is, totally cool. There's another way that you guys can support, and we really appreciate you considering doing so. So we're going to post a link for that here in a little bit. So just hang tight. Other than that, we are running a giveaway, so make sure you're typing something in chat because we're going to draw it after my answer here. So top candy, I mean, yeah, the Reese's egg is tough to beat, although I think this year they came out with the Cadbury Reese's egg.
Those are fire, too. Those are fire. Those are absolutely fire. That was the one I wanted to really say. Those are fire.
Yeah.
You couldn't fight tradition. I like it.
Nope. That's the freaking move, man. So the Cadbury Reese's for sure. And then I would say underrated is, underrated so tough. All right.
Somebody just said roasted peeps. Like you take a peep and roast it on an open flame.
That's a move.
Like
a peep s'more? What if you made a peep s'more?
I'll try anything once.
We're doing it. Because I was going to say peeps out the box, trash, absolute garbage. Do not like the worst things. They're terrible. My kids got cotton candy flavored this year. I had one. I was like, I regret everything in life. It was the worst thing ever. So, I mean, I'll try roasting one. I don't know. But I was going to say, so underrated for me, to me is Reese's Pieces, right? So it's still Reese's. Reese's Pieces, but specifically you get that carrot. It's like a bag of Reese's Pieces. And it's shaped like a carrot, just twist tied at the top with green material coming out the top. Yep. That's the move. I stole all those from my kids, and I don't feel bad at all about it.
I get straight Halloween vibes from Reese's Pieces and nothing else.
Yep.
I mean, you make it a carrot with all the orange color. So they come in orange, yellow, brown. It's only orange Reese's Pieces. It's kind of a left Twix scenario or a left Kit Kat, if you ask me. But all right. Yeah. So there we go.
On Instagram.
Okay. Cool. All right, there we go. So Chaz is ahead of me like normal. So here we go. So you got at the top pinned up there, guys. There is Austin's Autistic Adventures. That is a link that you can go direct to the organization to donate. The other one is That Bass Fishing Dude, where you can buy the shirts, which also go to that organization, right? So you got two options now, to donate. Still, Andrew, thank you so much for being considerate and wanting to donate. And we bought a shirt on your behalf, so don't worry about it. We got you, bro.
I bought a sweater, so if someone else decides to donate $10, I still got them covered too. So Brandon,
I hope you picked an XL because you're gonna be real mad.
I did, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the shoulders or the booty, but I don't look like
booty
an XL
have to do with your hoodie.
It gets uncomfortable when it's just riding all the way up.
Do you put your butt in your hoodie?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a new debate here, which is do you tuck your butt into your hoodie or not?
It's a problem for some people. It's a problem
button
for some
hoodie
people.
Or no hoodie.
It's not a problem for other people. Okay. All right. You see what I'm saying? It's an issue for me.
Totally. Got it. Yep. Got it.
Oh yeah. All right. So before we get into the show, Brandon, I wanted to give you a chance to talk about the organization you're working with, that the money you're donating that you're raising is going to support. Go ahead, Jeff.
Do we want to do that, then draw the winner? Let's give everybody time to chat. Perfect. Yeah, Brandon, please introduce us to this organization you're working with and how the shirts contribute to that, all of that. Would love to hear it. And then after Brandon explains that, y'all, we'll draw the first winner, and then we'll get into the meat of the show.
Gotcha. So I'm out here in Dallas, Texas. I have a son that's on the spectrum. He's high-functioning autism. He was diagnosed at a really early age, around 2 years old. And he's 15 now. And so we've lived with autism and its effects for a really, really long time. His quirkiness, his love for history. I mean, this dude is a literal walking encyclopedia, and I mean that. He reads them cover to cover. There's not a thing about any point in history that you can't ask this kid. He could tell you what it smelled like on that day. That's how in depth and in tune he is with it. But so I you may or may not know, I work for Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. So if you're not familiar with Raising Cane's, best chicken fingers in the world. And there was an organization. There's a guy that works with me at Raising Cane's that's also on the autism spectrum. He came from this organization called Austin's Autistic Adventures. This organization is local to me in Dallas. They're the only nonprofit in the country that supports teens and young adults on the spectrum with social outings and things like of that nature. So whenever I first met him, whenever I first started at Canes, I was asking everybody, I was like, where did he come from? What is it? Tell me some more about this organization. Well, about a year ago, no, going on 3 years ago now, the organization was actually up there doing a tour of our office, because our headquarters is like really, really cool. I mean, if you can imagine what it's like to go to like Google and walk around their office, like it's like that at our office. We've got power scooters and all kinds of crazy stuff, and disco balls, music is pumping out of every speaker, and it's crazy. Like, it's an awesome place to work.
That's
and
awesome.
That's whenever I met Jamie, the founder of the organization. And we got to talking, and this is right, pretty early on, whenever the whole That Bass Fishing Dude kind of thing came about. I had a decent sized following, decent sized platform at the time. But my followers and the people that support That Bass Fishing Dude are diehards. So whenever I got to talking to Jamie about this, I was like, my son's on the spectrum, and I was like, this organization is, tell me more about your organization. And she got to talking about it, and I was like, I really want to find a way to help you guys out if I can. Man, some dude just like, I don't know what he's doing over there. But I wanted to find out if I was like, I would really love to find a way to help you guys with some support if I can. And she was like, we love that. So I thought about it, and I was like, how can I go about doing this? So I was like, I'll create a t-shirt, and I'll start a t-shirt campaign for the month of April, which is Autism Awareness Month. And I'll sell that t-shirt on my website, and 100% of the profits that we make from that t-shirt, we will donate to your organization. So for the last 3 years, we've designed a unique custom t-shirt every single year, and we've donated 100% of the profits raised from that shirt to that organization. The first year we raised $1,000. The second year, last year, we raised $2,250, but one of my brand partners matched our donation amount, which brought our total to $4,500 last year.
Nice.
This year, we've already surpassed last year's donation amount, so we're well on our way to. I set a monetary goal for this year to raise $5,000, and we're definitely going to hit and exceed that, which I'm super excited about. And the great thing about this is this organization, with these social outings that they do, on average, it costs around $25 to $30 per person, per member, basically, to be involved and participate in these social outings. They do everything from cooking classes to art classes to, they do job shadowing. They go to amusement parks. They do all kinds of these really cool and awesome things that bring social activity to autism. Because if you're not familiar with ASD, autism is a social disorder. The people that have autism, they suffer from social disorders where they're not actively engaged with people in the community. They're very standoffish. They're very anxious when it comes to certain things. So therefore, an organization like Austin's Autistic Adventures is a really, really awesome thing for them, because it gets them involved in being out in a social environment. And another great thing about it is that my mind, like, there's a kid riding a bike around here, he threw my mind, the thought process off. Another great thing about it is that dude, what was I about to say? This kid like completely threw my train of thought.
Get that kid over here. I'll give him a piece of my mind.
I'm telling you. What was I saying? Social events.
Yeah, you were talking about the outings. So, like, talk about some of the outings that they might go on. Like, what are they providing? What is Austin's Autistic Adventures providing for these kids?
There we go. So, with the social events, again, them being, they're not antisocial. It's just the fact that, they don't get socialized, so this organization is about bringing the world to autism and autism to the world, because there are so many people that are out here that are unfamiliar with autism and its effects on people. So, they get to go out and they get to be around other people that may or may not be aware of, what autism actually is. So, they go to an amusement park, they get to experience what an amusement park is, just like anybody else does. Of course, they deal with things like stimming and, issues with loud noises and, bright lights and other things like that, because my son used to have an issue with that. Like, he's not so bad with it now, but when he was younger, I mean, you couldn't make any noise around him, and he's like, twisting his face up, holding his hands over his ears. But we go to amusement parks, we do cool things. We travel and do all this other really cool stuff. He's really into the outdoors and things like that. But a big reason why we partner with Austin's Autistic Adventures over like a national organization, because we could have done that. We could have partnered, and we could have, said, hey, we're going to donate all of this funding to Autism Speaks, which is this giant, national organization. But the problem with that is that.
Oh, lost your audio there, man. Can you hear us?
I mean, these organizations.
Oh, there we go.
You lost my.
I got you back.
We got you back.
Yeah, I had a phone call that came in, so I had swiped up to cancel it.
Oh, no worries.
So, with a national organization, they get millions and millions of dollars a year in funding and donations and things like that. So, the money that we would raise for them, it would be a drop in a very, very large bucket and would probably go unnoticed. So, I chose to partner with a local organization where I get to see those dollars go to work immediately. That was what was really important to me, was ensuring that the funding that we raise is actually going to get put to use, and it's actually going to get put to a good use and not just go in somebody's pocket. Not saying that that's what people do with stuff like that, but you never know these days, But, they're putting that money to work immediately. And that was what was so great about it. And then partnering with them year after year after year is another just a great piece of it, where we get to continue to provide, that support for that organization. And then outside of the funding, that we provide for them, we started last year what's called the TBFD Gang Autism Day on the Water, where last year we actually introduced their organization to paddle sports and fishing. So through a handful of my brand partners, Private Water Fishing, which is a bass club that's here in Texas, which is who I have a partnership with. They put us up on a private lake, and then Austin Canoe and Kayak, they brought up 14 kayaks, and NRS provided food, Raising Cane's provided sweet tea and lemonade. We put on this huge event for the organization where we introduced these kids that have never probably have never even seen a kayak, let alone been on one.
Yeah.
To getting out here on a kayak on the water, paddling around by themselves, and they took to it like a duck to water. It was actually one of the coolest experiences that I think I've ever been able to be a part of. And, and when I say that, it's wild, because I've been a part of, the special needs community for years, even since my days back in the military. I've volunteered and coached Special Olympics since my days in the Army, even as a civilian, coaching my son's Special Olympics teams and things like that. So, it's just a really, really awesome thing, to be able to take them out there and to put them on a kayak, just watch how they handle it. You basically give them some instruction, and they're super critical about everything. So, when you tell them something, they're listening to you.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately,
you're
like, the only time you can use this worm, and they're like, well, why are you using that worm now? And you're like,
well, it's a little different now. No, it can't be different. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, man. But I mean, it's just really awesome, man. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's been a blast, man. I'm really grateful for the people that have supported the campaigns. Those of you that have supported the campaign tonight, I'm really, really grateful for that. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to give back to the community in this way, because it's huge for them. This is a lot bigger than a lot of people really understand for them, and it really does mean a lot. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, dude, I love it, and it's like, as you're talking, a lot of that is resonating with me. My daughter is high functioning, and she has a lot of the like similar traits to what you said your son had, which is like the audio overstimulation for sure. Like, she wouldn't even let us talk to Alexa for, well, she still kind of doesn't. I'm just like, hey, Alexa, what's the weather today? And she's just like, no. I'm just like, okay. But like, we've worked on it. My wife actually works at a speech and occupational therapy facility who, offers ABA services for children on the spectrum and things like that. And my daughter was able to get that because she was also diagnosed very young. I think she was like 2.5, 3. And something we've mentioned on our show before is like the difficulty for parents to go through that process of diagnosis It's so just long, and there's so many things you have to do and boxes you have to check, let alone like if you're not in a median to high income home, like you're not covering any services whatsoever. Like you're not paying for that. You can't afford that. It's insane, the cost of these things too, similar to medical costs. So if you want any help, any assistance, like that's out of pocket. Unless you have the time to take off work to fill out, all the paperwork, the mounds and mounds of paperwork, and like talk to all the people. Like my wife was an absolute saint. She was able to go through and like help me get that done while I was working. It's hard. So when organizations like this offer just something for these kids, these families, to like get them out and get them acquainted with new things in a safe way.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm all about. I love that. And that's why we've worked with, the organizations we have in the past. But it's really cool to hear too, that it's like, these are, kids or teenagers, right? Like, I mean, these are typically older kids than older kids.
15 and up.
Yeah. So that's older than like the organization we've worked with have mostly been like under 15. So this is really cool, man. I mean, I love this, and I want to get into a lot more about this. So let's go ahead and draw that first giveaway. What do you say, Paul? Chaz?
Rack 'em
Chaz,
up.
let's do it.
Oh,
no
shut up.
way.
Shut up.
No. Oh, rigged. Westfall Outdoors, my guy. Dude, add to the collection. Look at you.
Just got in too.
I know. See, you guys, you just got to show up, man.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we got you, Westfall. You're done. Rigged, he says. He agrees. That's awesome, man. Hey, congrats on that. So we'll get you that bag out ASAP. We still got 2 more giveaways tonight. I should mention this at this point too. Again, the show is sponsored as always by Monster Bass. That's our folks. These are our people, and they help us do a lot of cool things, like potentially, go fish Lake Gunnersville. Like I never thought I'd be doing that ever in my life. So yeah, stay tuned for cool stuff from them. But we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the show for them, which would be a $25 gift card. You know what? Heck it. It's going to be $50. So I'm going to send you 2 $25 gift cards, which if you know Rafi, maybe he's in here. He's got a blue wrench now. You're going to get that in about 16 to 17 months, but I promise you, totally worth the wait. And if you're mad, don't yell at me, yell at Rob. I'm kidding, guys.
Actually, they put a bunch more swag up. They got some awesome sweatpants on there now. They got a puffy coat that I might have to go grab. I might have to go grab one of those. They got a bunch of cool stuff up there now they didn't have before. But
so anyway, $50, end of the show, we'll do that. And then Paul's got one more grab bag full of baits this time. So we'll get you guys that towards the midpoint of the show. Yeah. Midpoint for that.
I got a
Monster Bass end of the show. There you go.
I got it slotted in. So Brandon, I got some questions for you, my friend. We like to start off the show. I mean, it's a fishing show. I like to know kind of how people got into fishing. I like hearing the genesis. So I'm sure you got into this one before, but how did fishing enter your like zone, your world?
Man, so I'm sure like 99.989% of everyone else in the world, I've fished my entire life in some way, shape, or form. As far as bass fishing or the type of fishing that I do now, absolutely did not do that growing up. I grew up worm fishing like everybody else, worm and bobber. Throw a line out there, sit and wait, and catch whatever eats it at the end of the day. Well, about coming up on 4 years ago, well, it was a little bit before that, probably 4.5 years ago. I had gotten out of the military in 2013. And I got medically retired. I got injured when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, obviously fishing for me is therapy. I've done so many different things since I've been out of the military as far as therapy goes, from woodworking to messing with cars to you name it. And then I really kind of just settled in on fishing. So coming up on about 4 years ago, I was in college and I had gotten out of school after my military service. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and come to find out he was a bass fisherman. And he's black, so, not to bring race or any of that kind of stuff into this because it doesn't really matter. But, to me, it was like, it's unusual because that's not something that you really see a lot. There's 3 black pro fishermen in the entire, well, not in the entire thing, but, you got Brian Latimer, Mark Daniels Jr., Ish Monroe. Those are the popular 3 black men that are fishing professionally. So, you don't see a lot of representation for black people in the bass fishing space. And or just anywhere really, even on YouTube or anything like that. So
come to find out, outdoors in general.
Yeah, outdoors.
Really, exactly. And that's true, and it was crazy. So and again, that wasn't even something that I was even thinking about at the time. It was I just me and him are he's like my best friend. Lou's like my brother. He was actually who called me a few minutes ago. I had
sorry,
this
bro.
call, but yeah. So come to find out, he's a bass fisherman. And he's been fishing for bass his whole life. Him and his dad. He's grown up fishing for bass. But when I found this out, I was like, dude, are you serious? So it was right around the time that this is well before the Guggen squad like exploded. Before they grew into what they are today. And Justin Rackley is one of the guys that I was watching a YouTube video of him. He was actually fishing a pond that was not very far from my house, and this is one of his videos when he was in college, and so I was watching this video. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching. He's throwing a Fire Tiger chatterbait with a Lake Fork Trophy Lure swim bait on the back of it. I'll never forget this. And he bombs this cast. And there's like this very distinct grass edge on the pond that he was throwing at. And he was running that chatterbait through that grass as he's rolling it back and just sticks like a 5-pounder, dude. Just like, leans into this fish. And I'm like, oh, see that rod load up? And he drags this thing back to the to the bank, picks it up, and it's just this giant bass. And I'm just like, oh crap! I was like, I want that. I want to figure out how to do that. So that's whenever I got to talking to my buddy, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I fish for bass all the time." He's like, "I grew up doing that." And I was like, "What?" Like my head explodes whenever he says this. So I was like, "Bro, like, what do I need to do to do this?" And and I'm a person. My wife will tell you this. I'm a person that I put 110% in everything that I do. It doesn't matter what I do. She even takes it as far as to say that I obsess over it. Like I become obsessed with it because like if I'm gonna do anything, if I'm stamping something, I'm putting my name on it. And at the end of the day, I want it to be successful, and I want to be successful at it. So whenever I started looking into how to become a bass fisherman, like I'm watching hundreds of YouTube videos. I could be a content creator. Like I could make YouTube videos. And he's like, well, then do it. And I was like, you know what? I am going to do it. That's exactly what I told him. I said exactly. I was like, you know what? I am going to do it. And the next day I went and bought a GoPro. I went and bought a bait caster. I went and bought an Abu Garcia Black Max and a Temple Fork Outfitters Professional Series 7-foot medium heavy rod. And I went out to start trying to learn how to fish for bass. I fished the ponds in my neighborhood for 3 months straight before I ever even caught a fish. Never even got so much as a sniff. Crazy. I'm throwing any and everything possible. My wife will tell you I had every piece of soft plastic you can imagine. My wife actually banned me from buying any more. She's like, you cannot buy any more soft plastic because you literally don't need any. And so the day came around 3 months into this bass fishing journey when I caught my first fish. It was like a little 2.5 pound bass. And as soon as I felt that tug and I got that fish to the bank and I held that fish in my hands, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I've been working for. And this is unbelievably awesome. And from that day, I created a YouTube channel, Instagram handle. And that's whenever I was like, what is my name going to be? And I was like, that bass fishing dude. It was literally the first thing that popped into my head. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to be that bass fishing dude. And so I created the handle, that bass fishing dude. Instagram, YouTube, boom. And then I start making, pond fishing videos. Me just fishing ponds. My very first video I ever uploaded, I didn't catch a single fish. I was out there for 3.5, almost 4 hours and did not catch a fish. But I made like a 20, 30-minute video, of me out there struggling. And then my next video, I finally caught a fish, and then so on and so forth and so forth. And it continued to just snowball and continue to just me wanting more and more and more to the point where I wanted to become I wanted to try kayak fishing, because I got to a point where fishing in the ponds, it became, I hate to use the term boring, because I know there are a lot of people that fish ponds and they really enjoy it. And it is a great opportunity for a lot of people, especially to get into fishing, is fishing ponds. And some people, that's the only thing that they have. But for me here in Texas, I mean, there's water everywhere. There's lakes, there's rivers, there's creeks, there's everything. There are millions of ponds. But, for me, the pond fishing thing, for me, it got really, really redundant. And I really started to kind of step back and think, because again, in the beginning, I said I wanted to be a YouTuber. But then I found out really, really quickly that I did not actually want to be a YouTuber. I got 3 kids. I'm married. I work full-time job. I don't have time to be a YouTuber, like the standard YouTuber sensation. I don't have the time to put out 30, 40, 50 videos a month. I don't.
Yeah.
So, and then right around that time, Mother's Day rolled around. And my wife, she's from Maryland, so she's really into, just kayaking in general. So I bought her a kayak. She was bugging. She wanted a kayak. So I bought her this Ascend FS10T from Bass Pro Shops. And it's a little old 10-foot kayak. It definitely was not built or made for anybody of my stature to be on. And we also had a big 27-foot tri-tune that we had, that we'd take the kids out and, we'd tube and all that other crazy stuff on. So we would mothership her kayak out onto the lake and slide it in the water, and she would just take off on it. And me and the kids would be doing whatever on the boat. Well, one day, I decided I wanted to give it a shot. I was like, let me try that kayak, it almost ended my kayak fishing journey before it even started.
Oh, no.
And so, again, we mothershipped this kayak out onto the lake, and we pulled up in this cove and slide the boat off into the water. And I was like, hey, babe, let me try that. Let me give that a shot. And so I get on the kayak, and, at the time, again, I broke my back when I was in the Army, so I have no flexibility whatsoever. And so I couldn't even sit in the kayak like you would normally sit in a kayak.
Yeah.
Because for one, it's small. The seat is very, very small, and it's a crappy seat at that. So, and it's a really narrow kayak, so I can't get that balance. I couldn't get my stabilizers to engage, to stabilize the boat. So the only way that I could stabilize myself in this kayak was to sit with my back up against the back of the seat, butt flat in the seat, but have my legs hanging over the gunnels. So my feet and from the knees down are in the water, basically. And
you're on like a noodle. You're on a hard molded plastic noodle.
Exactly.
It's a lawn chair with 2 noodles. That's what that was.
100%. So she gives me the paddle. I got a PFD on. I grab my fishing pole. I throw I had a little ultralight. I threw it in the rod holder in the back. And I start paddling around, away from the boat. Her and the girls and my son, they take off the boat. Just take off. Leave me over here.
No.
And I was fine. It was cool. So I'm paddling around, and all of a sudden, there's no scupper plugs in this boat. So the boat is just like filling up with water. There's water coming in this thing from every which direction. I weigh 320 pounds on a good day. And, 7 feet tall. This boat has a 330-pound weight limit. And it's only 10 feet long. So, like,
a 10-footer?
He's in a 10-footer? I was going to ask.
It was
shorter than a noodle.
Devastating.
Yeah. So I'm like, I start freaking out, dude. And I mean, and it's crazy because, like, I wasn't afraid of falling in the water, but it's just like in the moment, in my mind, like all hell is breaking loose because this kayak is sinking and I don't know what to do. I've taken drown proofing and, swim qual, all that stuff when I was in the military. Like, I'm perfectly fine with being in the water, no problem. But that boat is like sinking and it's getting all wonky and the water's just rolling in this thing. And so I start waving my hand. Like, I'm like waving. And my wife, I'm like, yes. I was like, hey. And I'm like waving. And my wife and the kids, they turn around, they look at me, and my wife like waves back. And I'm like, no.
Hi.
No. Get me. And she's like, hi. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, this is the move, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
SOS.
Yeah, so she finally reached back over there and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, the kayak is sinking.
What are you doing?
Why are you drowning?
What a classic wife response. Like, that's such a wife thing. Like, what are you doing? I don't know, just drowning. Sorry.
I'm telling you. And so I'm like, the kayak is sinking. And she's like, well, if you're in distress, you're supposed to do a distress signal. I was like, well, I couldn't just do that on the first one. I was like, why didn't you come the first time? You leave me over here to flip out of this kayak and fall in the water and I'm screwed. And then come to find out I was really only in like 6.5 feet of water. I literally could have just stood up. So that's kind of the kicker to the whole situation. But that whole entire thing right then and there, like, I was like, I'm never getting on another kayak again. I was like, this kayaking thing is just not for me. So we got, I got off the boat, got back on the boat and everything like that. And then it took about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I really started rethinking the whole kayak thing. And I was like, there's got to be kayaks out here that are made for bigger people. There has to be. And so that's whenever I found fishing kayaks. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that was my problem. I was not in a fishing kayak. So, I started looking at these different kayaks and all that other kind of stuff. Well, push on the shove, fast forward, I end up in a fishing kayak. And
what was the first one you got though? I have to ask.
Three Waters Big Fish 120. I was in that boat for almost 2.5 years in that kayak. Stand up fishing out of that thing, everything. People were like, "Man,
wow,
standing up in that kayak, that's crazy." Like, but yeah, man, it changed my life, man. It saved my life. I have PTSD and all that other kind of stuff. So I mean, it's like paddle sports has literally been life for me. I mean, it's been insane. The cool things that I've been able to do and accomplish, and the strides that I've made from being out here on a kayak and fishing. It's been awesome. It's really been crazy.
So what keeps you in the kayak other than the fact that you have a Hobie? What keeps you in the kayak and doesn't like why have you decided to stay in paddle sports and not go towards a boat?
Boats are logistical nightmares. I get this question from people all the time.
Yeah.
People, why don't you just buy a boat? I mean, you got all that invested in that kayak. Why don't you just buy a boat? Because I don't have to pay for gas. I don't have to pay for insurance. Like, I can throw that thing literally, I can throw my kayak into the back of my truck. I can be at the lake in 10, 15 minutes. I can be in the water. You pull up to the lake, you got to back that trailer down. You got to get the boat in the water. You got to get off the boat. No, you got to drive the boat over to the courtesy dock. Then you got to walk back to your truck, drive the boat back up and park it, walk back. It's too much work. Then you got to put gas in it. Then you have all the recurring maintenance and all of the unexpected maintenance to deal with. I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. Mind you, boats are fun to fish off of, but you're very limited to the type of fishing that you can do on a boat versus a kayak. I'm a what you would consider to be an adventure-based angler. So I'll slide my kayak into a creek. Me and Charlie have done this so many times. We'll slide down into like a creek that you've driven past 100 times on your way to work, and you'd be like, "Oh, where's that down there?" Never would have thought, "Oh, take my kayak down there into that and see what it looks like," or even just go down and wade that creek or something like that. We do stuff like that. The rivers. You can fish the big lakes. You can fish the small lakes. You can fish everything in a kayak, and you can't do that in a boat. And, sure, there are some boats, you can get a jet boat or something like that, that gets real skinny. But for the most part, you're not going to portage, some big 2,000-pound jet boat in a river. You're going to go.
Well, you're not going to have fun. You're going to be sweating bullets the entire time. Jeff and I
we do it, but it would be terrible.
It's
even just like a Smith fly boat. So we've portaged rafts while we go fly fishing, like just rafting down rivers with some of our guide buddies up here in the Grand Rapids area in Michigan.
Yep.
And just the raft itself was such a beast just to go like up and over a dam. I was like, no, it's like the kayak is the way to go. Yeah,
it is, man. It's a lot of work, dude. And I mean, kayaks are, even though we have, even because we all have Hobies, we know these boats are big, they're heavy, they're bulky. Even though these things weigh 200 pounds, they are definitely more maneuverable and a lot easier to manage than a giant boat is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that's what it is for me. I mean, it's just about ease of use, and the ability to get out here and do the type of fishing that I love to do versus just fishing lakes all the time. I mean, that's fun, but I mean, again, it gets redundant and it gets old. I mean, lakes are different because they're big, so I mean, the fishing is always different depending on where you go. But again, I mean, I'm just fishing this lake all the time. So it's just like, what else is there out there?
There's not much.
Preaching to the choir, my guy. Yeah. Like that's 100% us. We fall in the same category as you because we do the same thing. Let's hop in this river. Let's go down this creek.
The best is Jeff and I don't know if you've ever done this or this is like your MO, but in order to avoid having to manage like a drift and pick up, pull up, put in and put out point, Jeff and I'll just pedal up, upstream, fish a little bit, and then we'll fish the way back, right? Because the Hobie is just that's worth the cost of the price of admission alone. Like, and that alone is worth it. There's been times that we'll hit like a spot in May, and it'll be plenty deep, and we'll get all the way up back into wherever, and then we'll come back in like July, and it'll be like 4 inches deep, like at the same dragging spot. And Jeff and I will hop out. Man. Jeff and I will hop out, and I remember last year we just tied the boats like. I just grabbed my rope, and we're just wet wading, dragging both the boats up behind us, and it was like a non-issue. It was like, well, we can just do this; it's fine. And we fished like the same stretch made it past the no one is going to fish that area. No one's walking through. It was grass. It was grass for 2 feet, nothing but matted grass and water for 2 feet. We walked through it all, and then we started absolutely slapping the hell out of them past that. And I guarantee you, like, no one else
water after that. Yeah,
no one else fished there. No one else was going to do it. I would agree, man.
And that's what I like. That's how I am, man. We like get into those places that people overlook. But that's the thing about with the content that I create and the way that I create my content is that my goal is to inspire people to go out here and seek and chase those adventures. Because they're out there. These adventures do exist, and that's one of the great things about doing what I'm doing and being able to do it to the level that I do it is that it does actually inspire a lot of people. I get so many emails and comments and DMs from people about how I've changed their life in some way, or they bought a kayak because of me. I mean, I've run into people at boat ramps, and me and Charlie ran into this guy one time. I hate to kind of deviate from the storyline or whatever, but
there's no storyline.
We don't do rails, my guy.
Me and Charlie ran into this guy at the boat ramp. This guy was in his mid-60s, man, had to be. And it's a small lake on the north end of the city where we live. And me and Charlie had just got off the water, and this guy comes rolling up in a autopilot 120, and I yell over him. I was like, "Hey man, how'd you do out there?" And he's like, "Oh, not too bad." He's like, "How'd y'all do?" And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't too bad." And he like pauses after he gets off the boat and onto the bank. He's driving his boat up, and he stops and he looks at me, and he's like, "You're that bass fishing dude, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes sir, I am." And mind you, this guy's in his 60s. He's like 65. And I was like, "Yes sir, I am." And he's like, he literally says, he's like, "Man, you're the reason why I bought this kayak." And it's like, bro, it's this
awesome.
Unbelievably humbling feeling, to know that, that what you're doing out here is making that kind of impact on people. And that's what makes it fun for me, to run into people and, to have people talk to me. My wife calls them my groupies. You guys are definitely not groupies if you're watching this. But, she's like, "Hey, your groupies are over here," and I'm like, "They're not groupies. It's the gang, But
it's the gang.
It's the gang. Yeah, you don't say that.
But no. She definitely understands it. She definitely appreciates it too, because she knows and sees the impact that it has on me. But I love it, man. I love meeting these people, and I love running into people out on the water and hearing their stories and all this other. Dude, it's fun, man. Like, I've come across so many people, man, and it's a blast.
Well, I want to know, like,
I love it.
It's funny. There's when you're on social media a lot, and you run across a ton of different people just existing right on the internet. And when you pick something like fishing or woodworking or whatever it is that you pick your little niche that you're going to live in or whatever. Well, I just mean it's like a content creator. Like people just comment and run into you and talk to you and like that sort of thing. And so I guess there's a lot of people who love to fish, and there's people who love fishing way more than I do. And there's people who are, everyone here is a candidate for being way better at fishing than I am. And that's, 100%. But those people don't choose to go and make a video about it, or make tips and tricks videos, or make TikToks, or decide that they're going to go buy a GoPro and that whole thing. So you kind of talked about how you were like, oh, I could do the YouTube thing. But like, what made you even think about that as an option? Because even at that time, when you were talking about it, it wasn't like it was a big thing where people were like, "Oh, you could make money doing that, or you could go get brand deals." Or you could...
What year was that though? What year was that, Brandon?
2018.
It was definitely big, and people were making money. But what stood out to me, Brandon, was that you said, "I thought I wanted to be a YouTuber." And then you got kids, you're married, so are we. Like, we got the same deal. He's got a family, I've got a family. Like, we got time for this ish, you guys. Like, we cram it in, we make it happen because it's something that we're passionate about. But I thought that was like, that's a great statement, because if you follow like YouTubers, right, like they're vlog style, they're doing everything they do. They're going on adventures, they're buying tons of cool stuff. They're going like traveling around the world, whatever. Like, I love to do that too, but honestly, if I take my family, I don't want to take my camera. Like, I don't just for me.
And I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But I can kind of dive a little bit deeper into that, into the reason why is because, when I look at the space of YouTube, and I look at, the fishing industry and the YouTube fishing industry is that there's a lot of creators out here doing it. I mean, there is a lot of people here fishing now. You know, I mean, you think about over the last 2 years, just how much this sport has expanded and grown. It's grown exponentially. I mean, everybody is filming YouTube videos. Everybody's doing something on YouTube when it comes to fishing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, whenever I really, really thought about it, we took a step back and really thought about the content strategy as a whole, because we build my content strategy out basically for the whole year. That we're basically planning trips. My tournament season is on there. All the video content that I need to create or want to create, anything that I need to do for my brand partners, you know, whatever it may be, all of that stuff is all planned out. Big content strategy for the entire year. And I thought about it and I was like, you know, sure, I can make tips and tricks videos, but there's 3,000 other people on YouTube right now making tips and tricks videos. So, you know, I get people all the time. It's like, hey, man, you should make a video for this. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you, man, there's a million other guys out there that are doing that already. You know, it's, you know, check them out. You know, there's no real, just my opinion, there's no real point for me to make that type of content because it already exists out there. It's been rinsed and repeated so many times over and over and over again. And so I shifted gears and I made my focus around creating 1 to 2 really, really great videos a month. You know, and, you know, I wanted to focus on putting out 1 to 2 really great videos on a monthly basis. So every single month, there's either going to be 1 or there's going to be 2 videos that come out in that month. So it's really easy the first half of the year because I'm shooting my tournament stuff. And those are probably, outside of my adventure-based videos that we post, the tournament videos are probably the most popular videos that I post because they're just really raw videos. You know, they're not like a high-level overview. They still tell a story, you know, and that was another big piece of it is that I wanted to tell stories through my content, you know, so that, again, so that it's inspiring to people, you know, it's something that people can grab and they can gravitate towards and they can relate to it. So, you know, I show the good with the bad, you know, you get a lot of people that make YouTube videos and they're just human highlight reels. Everything is hook set, lip and bass here, rip and lip there. It's all, you know, it's all just all this good stuff that's happening all the time. You know, they never show the reels exploding, you know, breaking rod tips or falling out of your kayak or, you know, all the craziness. You know, they don't show the reality of what happens when you really go fishing. You know what I mean? So I make it a point to show that stuff in my content. You know, dude, I literally backlash a reel every single time I go fishing. I've been doing this for a long time, and it happens every single time I go fishing. Every time. And it's like, you know, people are like, man, you know, my reels blow up too, you know, but they're like, you know, they see me, that bass fishing dude, you know, this, you know, prominent figure in the fishing space. He has backlashes too. So, okay, TBFD is just like us. You know, he's not, you know, this fishing guru that's perfect at everything. You know, he's a regular old fisherman just like us that has problems on the water just like me and everybody else. You know, and another big part of it for me is I want to create clean, family-friendly content that anybody can enjoy and they can relate to. Kids can watch my content. Old people can watch my content. You know, young people of our age demographic can watch my content. You know, anybody can sit down and watch a TBFD video, and they can sit down at dinner time and they can watch it with their family, and they're not going to hear, you know, a bunch of curse words or a bunch of derogatory comments or anything crazy in my content because that's not what it's about. You know, I want to create that good family friendly content, but that's about fishing because that's what it's about at the end of the day. I want people to see through my content to be able to learn how they can become a better angler, you know, without actually creating tips and tricks type content, you know, because again, there's millions of other people out here that are already doing that. So, you know, that's why I focus on, you know, creating the content the way that I do. You know, my tournament season videos are really easy. They're just GoPro stuff. You know, I do have a videographer and photographer that film with me, you know, whenever we do our regular, like our big sins and stuff like that. So like when we did like the Guadalupe River or, you know, whenever we do, like we're going to Florida, we're going to be fishing all across Florida. We're doing that. You know, we just did this huge Broken Bow send, 4 days in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. You know, we did Main Lake, Upper Mountain Fork River, Lower Mountain Fork, fly fishing, wading, all this different stuff, you know. So all that stuff is filmed. That series is about to come out starting next Wednesday. The first one will drop. But I mean, there's just a lot to it, you know. And I want to show the reality of what fishing actually is. It's not a highlight, really. Fishing is actually hard. It's really tough, and it does take skill to do it. You know, some of these guys out here would make you think that, oh, fishing is easy. I can just pull up on this pond and throw blah 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 in there, and I'm just gonna be wrecking them, and that's not really the truth.
I wish.
Well, I like it when it's funny. We've had the opportunity to fish with some people who are really good and watch them get skunked, and it is like the most gratifying thing. Not that I'm mad for them. Man. I'm just like, hey, look, reality, neat. I'm not as bad as I thought I was.
Yeah, when everybody's like our guys here, in Michigan, like they're smacking smallies all the time. They're just crushing it. We go on a trip, specifically to catch content for MB, and like everybody struggles all day. And then Paul and I go up a back creek channel and we just like knock them freaking dead until 11 p.m. Yeah. That's what I love. But I'm with you. Like, you are in good company because we actually have a name for that. It's called Aggressively Average Anglers. And that is the club that Paul and I have started. So if you'd like to join, we have open memberships.
I'm with it.
I think that, you know what? Now that I just realized, like, we made the Ned Rig Nerds, but we've not made Aggressively Average. How have we not done that?
We're so dumb. Put it on the
I'm such an
board.
idiot.
It's on the board.
I have
now,
this thing.
you guys.
I have a marker board. Once something goes on the board, it gets done. So like
your
decals, they're on the board, which means they're in an envelope for you. But that means it's getting done. So when I put aggressively average, it's getting done.
All right, so we'll make sure we're gonna send you one, Brandon. Don't worry.
Appreciate that.
What size for the height? Is it XL, double XL?
3XL t-shirt.
3XL t-shirt. There you go.
Noted.
Dude, 7 foot even. All right. So yeah, dude, I love that you're with the reality of fishing, because I feel like, yeah, I'm with you, man. The highlight reels, they never did it for me. Like I love, who were the guys back in the day? It was like Bill Dance. Who's the dude that was like a spoof channel basically, and he would like go to swing his battery into his boat and completely miss his boat and like fall in the water. Well, yeah, it was Paul too, the time traveler. Anyways, I love seeing that stuff. Like, so we've been doing that since the beginning. We're totally on board with that flow of the content as well. I love that.
I will say though, it depends on the day, because I've made videos where I'm like, when I had one of those days, you know what I mean, where like I couldn't miss, and I'm like, yeah, those videos are kind of fun to make though every once in a while. Where you're like, hey, look, I had unlimited hook sets. That was cool.
Well, that's what the video. That's what happened.
Yeah, man, there really are days like that, and those days are an absolute blast. And again, there's nothing to foreshadow or overshadow that type of stuff. And not to say that I wouldn't make videos like that, because again, those days happen. We had a day like that. We fished this place in Oklahoma once that, I mean, I literally was catching fish on bare hooks that had nothing on them. Like, I'm not kidding. We probably caught between the four of us, we probably caught 500 or 600 fish. I'm not kidding. Biggest fish of the day was just under 8 pounds. Like, I'm not joking, dude. Like, we caught crappie that were like 18 inches just on chatterbaits, bro. We weren't even targeting crappie. Like, when you have a crappie hit a chatterbait, a half-ounce chatterbait, like, dude, you're talking about a straight football.
Bro.
Yeah, man.
Charles, hold on, you guys. Charles has a question. Charles, what's your question? It's going to be where he was in Oklahoma. Is that the question?
Nah, so we did Broken Bow Lake. We fished Main Lake one day. So we fished not the whole Main Lake because it's a huge lake, but we fished the Main Lake for one day. So there's basically the first episode of the series is all Main Lake stuff. Then day 2, we fished the Upper Mountain Fork. So we fished a huge, 2, 3, 4, 7 mile stretch of the Upper Mountain Fork. Day 3, we did the Lower Mountain Fork. So we hiked into this crazy, ridiculous spot on the river and waded probably 4.5, 5 miles of river, fly fishing that entire thing. And then we had to hike out of that whenever your feet feel like ground beef. And so that absolutely sucked. It was an absolute blast. Probably one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been. And I've been to a lot of really beautiful places. And then day 4 was just kind of a makeup day for just grabbing content for whatever we didn't get. So we fished the Main Lake again, but we fished down on the south end of the lake day 4. And then we were only out there for probably 6 hours on day 4. But we were fishing basically sun up to sundown every single day of the trip.
Damn,
I can't wait to do that with some kayak anglers. We're going to get to do that here in May because we've done it with boat anglers, which sucks because they'll go to a spot, they'll slap the hell out of wherever they are, and they'll be like, nothing. See ya. And then you're like, I just got here. And then
we literally launch our
the
kayaks and they come into the ramp at 87 miles an hour. And you're like, all right,
we're
cool.
leaving.
See you later.
I'm 2 miles offshore.
No,
bro.
the best part, we hit this lake that's on the west side of Michigan, Lower Peninsula, but it's like northwestern Lower Peninsula, right? And like it's like long, right? So we get the ramps at like the bottom of the lake, and then we go north. And we paddled our asses off to get way up north.
Minutes, maybe an hour of just
and they had already
paddling.
hit the furthest north point. They're like, "There's no fish here," and then they left. They came right back by us we're paddling.
Neglected to call us.
Oh, yeah,
we could have avoided.
I was like, "Where are you going?" And yeah. So we got out there, and then the wind like kicked up, and we were now battling against current and like whitecaps, and we're like, "This is fun."
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
we
went live on Instagram at that time.
That's exactly what we did.
We did an Instagram live while paddling back and struggling to not drown. It was fun. Brutal. It was great.
So I do want to talk fly fishing, but before we do that, I think we're gonna let the fly fishing go. But I want to do the second giveaway. So we got the other bag here. Very big. This one. Oh. We got bag number 2. So I want everyone who's in chat right now, if you want to win this one, first of all, go buy a shirt. Go buy a shirt. Go buy a
do
sweatshirt.
The thing. Click the links. They're up there.
There's another link up there where you can just, if you want to donate like a super chat, do a couple of bucks. We really appreciate it. It all goes to a great cause, and that's why I'm giving away. See the Ned Rig nerd slap is in there. Get the whole bag of baits. There's easily 60, 70 bucks worth of stuff in here. Promise you there's some of my favorite baits. That's one thing that I always try and do is I give away either my favorite jig, one of my favorite. I think this one has one of my favorite poppers in it, and it's hidden in the middle, so you won't know.
What's the popper?
It's the Rebel, the
Tell
Pop
me.
R, my guy.
The Rebel Pop R?
The Pop
of
R.
course. Is it an old bass?
No, I'm not that nice. It's not an old bass. But it is the chartreuse and blue though, that's
all right.
Top 5. So if you want to get that bag, just start chatting. We'll do the drawing and we'll give it a couple
questions.
Minutes.
Yep.
So I want to talk fly fishing a little bit. So you talk about making different content, making adventure content. Nobody in bass fishing, like almost nobody, it's very, very low percentage, is willing to waste a day. I'm using air quotes, waste a day to go fly fishing, to make fly fishing content. Period.
Whether or not they're good at it, for the biscuit.
Whether or not they're good at it, whether or not they're gonna make that video. So what I have to ask, what drove you into the fly fishing, and how has it treated you? Because I am a fly fisherman. I love to sling the fly line, but I don't get to do it enough anymore.
And he blames me.
So for me, man, the biggest thing about it is really self goals. I literally want to be the best all around angler that I can. That's why I fish competitively. When you think about those of us that fish in this space, whether it be social media, YouTube, whatever it may be, there's probably a lot of this, this feeling towards us from people on the outside, or even fishermen in general, that probably feel like we're probably not actually as great of anglers as we portray ourselves to be online. So that's what got me into the idea of wanting to fish competitively and fish tournaments. If you had asked me 2 years ago if I would have ever gotten into tournament fishing, I'd have told you no. It wasn't something I was interested in doing. Simply because I didn't want because I genuinely love to fish. Like, one of my monikers is for the love of fishing. Like, that's one of my hashtags that I push out there all the time. Everything that I do in this space is for the love of fishing, because I genuinely love fishing. So, for myself, I took the opportunity to kind of dip a toe into competitive fishing, and that's for me to solidify my skill set, to prove that, hey, I'm not just this social media person out here fishing. I can actually fish. I can put 5 fish in the boat when I need to. But that's neither here nor there. So the fly fishing thing is also a part of that. I want to, again, be the best all-around angler that I can possibly be. And the only way that you can do that is by doing and trying and learning all of the various techniques that are out there. So, the type of fishing that I do on a normal basis is, conventional. I fish big swim baits and things like that. But I also chase various species on the fly as well. I just put in an order through Temple Fork Outfitters, which is one of my brand partners, for the new BC Big Fly 8-weight, because we're going to Florida. To be chasing some
nice
water fish, reds, peacock bass on the fly. there's opportunity. You know, I've been wanting to get out to Tennessee to chase muskie on the fly. You know, dude, I would love to slap a 50-inch muskie on the fly, dude. I've never caught a muskie,
Oh
but
man,
you know, I've got some serious fish on my bucket list, man, of things that I plan on capturing and, you know, telling good stories about. But, you know, the fly fishing piece for me has just been a technique that I wanted to learn. You know, I wanted to go out here and give it a shot. And I did. And I ended up catching like a 4-pound bass on the fly. And I have a 5 weight. And I ended up catching
on a 5.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I ended up catching a 4-pound bass on a 5 weight on a San Juan worm. And
really,
dude, it was absolutely insanity, bro. I mean, absolutely insane. I've fished ultralight fishing and done all that light tackle stuff before. But there's nothing like strip setting into a 4-pounder on a 5 weight.
I will tell you, dock fishing poppers, like foam poppers with a 5 weight.
It's a blast.
It's on another level because the amount of fear you have of getting the leader wrapped will tear that just gets your heart racing alone. But watching those eats too, because they don't actually splash at them as much; they sip them more. I don't know why, but that's just what seems to happen. But dude, that is one of the most fun things in the world. But I'll tell you, when you catch your first pike on a fly, that does something to your DNA, and it changes you as a human being.
That's a serious goal for me. Like, I'm not kidding, man. That's one goal. I was supposed to go on a Tennessee muskie trip last year. We were supposed to do that trip last year, but the sponsor dollars didn't come through in time, so we had to push the trip. And we didn't put it back on the schedule for this year because we're doing so much other stuff. But it's definitely going on the schedule for next year, on the content strategy for next year. But I'm definitely going to make that happen because I would kill to catch. Like I said, I don't care if it's a 30-inch muskie, whatever, dude. But to get a muskie on the fly, dude, would be absolutely killer for me. That's life goals.
I would agree.
I love it, and because of you, and also Christian from the Fly Fishing Insider podcast was on last week. And Paul nags me about this all the time, but I don't listen to Paul. I listen to other people. So because of you guys, we're gonna fly fish on the channel. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I love fly fishing too, man. Like, for whatever reason, we didn't do it like at all last year. And the year before that, I remember we had a lot of high water in like our normal wading sections. We couldn't even wade them. It was just a rough year. And then the next year after that, like, I moved last year. So you know what? Cut the shenanigans, Paul. We're gonna go fly fish. It's Paul's fault, you guys.
It's really crazy too, man. I mean, like, you know, if you actually take it seriously, like, you know, because again, you know, we're social media personalities and things like that, but you know, if you actually go out and take fly fishing seriously and actually, you know, give it a real genuine shot, dude, you would be surprised at how much support you will get from people. You know, your followers, people that don't even follow you. You know, it will really expand your brand in this space so much because there are people out there that are diehard fly fishermen. They don't even conventionally fish, you know, and then they come across somebody that's new that's doing it, and they're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" But then they see you're some dirtwad out here being, you know, stupid with it, and it rubs them the wrong way. But if you actually go out and you genuinely give it a real shot, and you know, you take it seriously, and then at the same time, don't be afraid to ask the hard questions like, how do you do this, or how should I go about XYZ? Dude, you'll be surprised at how much support you'll get out of that, man. Because dude, I'm telling you, the fly fishing space has been unbelievably supportive of TBFD, dude, and they're constantly asking for fly fishing content, like, dude, when are you going to pull that 5-weight back out, blah 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 blah. Because like, dude, I threw some posts up, you know, 2 years ago. And you know, they're like, "Oh, TBFD's fly fishing now." And they're like, "Dude, let's go. What's going on with this?" And then, you know, then I kind of tapered off of it because I was, you know, busy doing a lot of other stuff, so I wasn't whipping the bug as much as I wanted to. But then people were always they DM me or they drop comments on certain posts or videos. They'd be like, "Dude, when are you pulling that fly rod back out? When's the fly fishing content coming?" And so, you know, we made a point when we went to Broken Bow that we literally dedicated an entire day to just fly fishing. You know, we went out there with the goal to, you know, catch a rainbow trout or a brown trout. That's all that, you know, the lower mountain fork.
Yep.
And Dude, it was a blast, man. Like it was an honest to God blast, man. It was probably the most fun I've had doing anything in a really, really long time.
Wet
And
waiting.
yeah,
wet waiting for smallies it's right up there with wet waiting
top
ultralight.
It's gotta be
it's gotta be way up there. Smallies are fun because they're like all the things that you want in fly fishing. They're beautiful.
In current.
They eat everything. They're monsters in current. You get the chance at catching yourself like up here at least. A 20-incher on a good day. And you don't have to be good either. That's the best part. You don't have to be particularly good. You just be very average.
They're so aggressive. Yeah.
And like you're fine. You're fishing. Good job.
They get it.
Yeah, and we have this ongoing series that we film. It's called Creeker. And again, it's where we drop into those inconspicuous places that people overlook so often, and again, it inspires people to go out there and take a trip down into that creek, go over there and do some creek stomping. And on Creeker 2 that we filmed last year, we fly fished this really crazy scenic creek. And dude, we caught a ton of fish, man. Like people would be so surprised at how many fish and different species of fish actually live in these urban creeks.
Yeah.
And dude, we caught some really good bass. We caught a ton of freaking sunfish. Like, dude, just insane, man. Ran up on a giant snake, which I'm not fans of at all. I'm not afraid of snakes, but I hate snakes, bro.
Nobody likes snakes. Don't even like snakes. All right,
I'm telling you, dude.
Some underscore Pennsylvanian did give us a $5 super chat, so I want to say thank you very much. It was intentional. He had a question. So their question was, what's a bait you like to throw, but no one else seems to like?
Bait that I like to throw that no one else seems to like. Hello? It's a ring light. Sorry. I'm on a podcast. Yes, sir. I'm on a pod. This is the only place that I can find that has cell phone service.
Oh no!
We're gonna
get booted from the church.
Yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. It's just a light. My phone is right here, and then I have
Stay tuned, chat. Stay tuned.
It's a fishing podcast.
Tell them it's really good.
No, it's live, and I'm on it.
Yeah, it's called Burly Fishing. It's on
there
YouTube.
You go.
It's live right now.
The word. You can watch it.
Go look it up.
Yeah, you should check it out. Pull it up on your TV in there.
Attaboy.
Say it again.
This is going
Burly Fishing. BURLY Fishing on YouTube.
Hook, line, I'm a sinker, baby.
Yeah, it's a fishing podcast.
This guy.
Could be a gal. We don't know.
Hey,
I'm giving my answer. I'm going to say curly tail grub.
Curly tail grub is your answer?
All right, bro. Okay. Take care.
Well, I was going to say, while Brandon talks to homeboy here, it's like, you do see the links at the top of the chat. Care. Just be sure to donate to Austin's Autistic Adventures, as well as go check out that bass fishing dude. He's got the shirts that he's wearing right now, which says "See the able, not the label" with the kayak and all that. So that was a cool dude that you just encountered there.
Thanks for spreading the word. Appreciate you.
He said him and his wife thought I was out here talking to myself.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right. So should we have a lot of chats? Josh, can we run the giveaway?
Well, hang on. So Brandon didn't answer the question.
Yeah. So yeah. That's a hard question to answer, man. Because
right.
So since I started competitive fishing, it's really reshaped the way that I fish. I've gotten, I won't say that I've gotten really particular about how I fish or what I fish, but it's definitely changed the way that I fish now. Even whenever I'm fishing for fun, because again, whenever you come out and you're fishing a tournament, the goal is to find fish quickly. And then whenever you find fish, you want to weed out and find the biggest fish in those bunches. So, I'm usually, my tournament setup is usually, a crankbait, a chatterbait, even though I really don't like throwing a chatterbait. A drop shot, always, a Texas rig, some type of flipping setup, and a swim bait, whether that's either a finesse paddle tail swim bait or like a big swim bait.
Yeah.
And before that, I can tell you a bait that I do not throw, and y'all are probably going to look at me like I'm crazy, but y'all are up north. Is a Ned Rig. That is a bait that I don't throw. And yeah, I already knew it. I knew I was going to get the side eyes. I'm pretty sure the chat is exploding right now.
These are the Ned Rig nerds, man. You just
I
know.
I know. I was going to say something early on, but I didn't. And but yeah,
you guys fish trash, but I don't know.
It's garbage. Whatever.
Even though that bait, even here in Texas, that bait does catch a lot of fish, dude. It's just it's so slow of a presentation for me.
Yeah.
Like it's not one that I can fish, man. I can't with confidence fish a bait.
That's the key word. That's the key word. The key word right there
is confidence for sure.
Confidence.
But
yeah, Jeff would have told you the same
deal.
thing. Jeff would have told you the same thing. You want to go fishing with Jeff? Just watch someone with an attention deficit issue trying to literally not stare at a bait for more than half a second.
Listen,
Dude, literally,
it's called
look, a bait.
Subtly aggressive. I will be subtly aggressive with my Ned Rig. So I don't fish the Ned the way everybody else does. I power Ned, so I'm totally different with that, and it's way more fun for me. It's not slow. It's not a slow bait to me, but I get it. And I was actually going to say that for my answer of like a lot of people don't like the Ned Rig. They're like, oh, it's just a 3-inch worm. Lately, homeboy Fishhook Terry has been taking gosh dang shots. I feel like all he's posting is like I hate Ned memes.
I'm gonna start tagging him in the smallest
Ned memes.
Yeah, man, Terry is funny. He's a good dude, though.
Yeah,
I've been following along with all that. He is constantly degrading the Ned Rig for sure. I typically keep my outward opinions of the Ned Rig to myself, but Terry does make sure to put that out there for all of the world to see.
Oh man, it hurts my soul only, nothing else. It's fine. All right, so let's roll the winner, and then I want to call out these other 2 super chats. I got you guys. David Ellers,
Holy,
look, you know, it pays to be a regular on the show. I'm just saying, you guys, like,
it really does.
We are literally doing a random draw of everybody who has said anything in chat. They can see the draw. Yeah, well, you guys get it. So, congrats, David Ellers. I think we also have your information. So, there you go. Yeah, but first I want to say David Ellers said, Brandon, he's going to send you a pack of Ned Rigs. So don't worry. He's got you.
I appreciate that. Just DM me. I'll shoot you my address.
I'll shoot you my address. It's called the local city dump. You can leave them right here. All right. Sorry, Chaz. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
No,
tell me quick.
No, dude, that's actually something that I do want to do. So living here in Dallas, we have the Trinity River that flows through DFW, and they have those literal, I'm talking literal 7-foot giants, dinosaurs, the gator gars, like humongous gar, dude. I want to chase one of those things so bad.
I've eaten a gar.
I've never eaten one, but I got buddies that chase them. How was it?
I will. Okay, the first one I ate.
Mind you, Paul will eat anything. Let me first preface this.
That's 100%.
So if he says it's pretty good, it means it's garbage.
That's actually pretty fair. But I will say this: the first one I ate, I kind of knew it was gonna have a bad texture, so I just wrapped it in foil and butter and threw it in a fire for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then ate it. And that was a mistake. It was very, very tough. The taste, the flavor was good, but it was so tough that it was like almost impossible to separate the two. So it was not good. When I did it later, I learned my lesson. So I lemon juice, a little bit of vinegar, melted butter, left it in a bag overnight, and then like sauteed it super slow, like you would do like octopus.
Still there?
Like you do what?
I think he froze. I think he said He was saying like you would do octopus, and then he died and went away to digital hell. So we'll leave him hanging there while he thinks about it. But okay, so you want to fish for gar, and you specifically alligator gars. I think what you were
alligator gar.
Yeah,
man. So
dude, that's
it's
awesome.
really difficult to. It's really difficult to get Charlie to consider some of this stuff because Charlie is a diehard bass guy. I mean, my best friend Charlie is diehard bass fisherman. So whenever I say, "Hey man, I'm going to go out and I'm going to chase giant blue cats, blue catfish from the kayak," he's like, "That sounds like fun, but I'm not going." It's like, well, why not? He's like, dude, that's too slow, man. It takes forever. It's boring.
Yeah.
We just basically throw a line out, sit, wait for something to eat it, fight it to the boat. And he's like, it'd be fun, but he's like, I just don't think it's something I want to do. But dude, I would kill to go out and chase one of those giant alligator gar from either the kayak or the bank. I've got some buddies, some really close friends of mine that actually do chase them out on the Trinity, and I'm gonna try to link up with them probably in the summertime because that's usually whenever they're out there is whenever it gets real hot. They're out there in that nasty red dirt. Standing on the bank with them giant surf poles, and they are literally dragging these giant monsters to the bank, man. I mean, it's insane. So I'm going to try to link up with them this summer and see if I can make that happen. But I would love to get out there and chase one on a kayak, too. I think that'd be a blast.
That's so awesome.
Just the thought of it makes me think about when Robert Field chased that giant blue marlin that drug him, 4.5, 5 miles out into the Gulf. Just absolute insanity, man. He fought that fish for 4 hours. It's like I doubt that it would take that long to fight one of those back to the boat, but I mean I bet it would be an insanely wild ride to have one of those bad boys just drag you down the river while you're trying to reel that thing into the kayak.
That's the thing. The river's another beast on a big fish. Like you catch a giant catfish, like you're going for a ride. There's no getting around it.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I haven't had that experience yet, and that would be one thing that would be on like my bucket list. It would be just a long fight with a big gosh dang fish that's like got me, just that fear that you have when you're driving home during a blizzard and you white knuckle your steering wheel and like you're afraid you're gonna spin out and die at any time. Like I want that feeling, but like with a fish, it'd be pretty sweet.
Catfishing at night with a worm on a drop shot. You can use like 20-pound test with a braid backer, and you could be in Chatham like by the time you actually reel that fish in.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of night fishing because night fishing scares me because I don't like that I can't see the snakes, and I don't want one of the things in my boat.
We don't get that as bad up here. We've done nights quite a few times, and like we've done it where we'll drop shot for cats just like in creeks and rivers, and we'll just like sit in the sand and drink beers. Just wait.
I did catch an absolute giant bass the day before last year. So literally the New Year's Eve, my last fish of 2021. I slapped an 8.1 on a jig. Literally, so me and Charlie were out fishing. We got a late start. We didn't get on the water till like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And, so we usually are off the water by nightfall for the most part. But this particular day we were like, you know what, man, let's just keep on fishing. I mean, dude, it's pitch freaking black. There's no moon in the sky. There's not a single. You can't see. It's dark.
Yeah.
And I'm flipping this particular set of reed lines. And, I know that I'm not right up on the reeds, but I know that I'm not too far away from them. I'm maybe like, 5-10 yards away from the reeds. So I know that I'm flipped because I can't see anything. It's pitch black. I mean, I have my deck lights on my kayak and they're red, so I can at least see my feet and stuff, but I can't see what's around the boat. So, dude, I flip this jig over there up against that reed line, and, I let my rod tip fall. I'm just kind of feeling the jig as it's falling. And dude, that rod loaded up like it felt like I set my hook into a truck. Like I'm talking just dead stop. It just felt thump and it did not move. Like it was like I set it in like straight up into the back of a truck. It just did not go anywhere. And as soon as I set it, bro, that thing she dove straight to the bottom. Like it pulled everything went down. I'm a 7 foot heavy, with 20-pound fluorocarbon on it, and it just straight to the bottom. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And again, I can't see anything. So, and I can feel the head shake. So I know it's a bass. I just can't tell how big it is.
Right.
So I'm cranking this thing up to the top, cranking. I'm probably in like 8 feet of water. But again, she's just digging.
Yeah.
So I'm cranking. And like, as I'm doing this, because I'm sitting sideways on my boat, basically my knees are pointing over the gunnel.
Yeah.
On the left side of the boat. So while I'm doing this, it makes my boat lean, so my boat's leaning. So my deck lights are shining up against the reeds. Dude, I get this fish to come up to the top. She comes up and she rolled. Dude, I saw this, just a white belly, dude. I'm not kidding. It looked like a 30-pound freaking butterball turkey, dude. When it came up and rolled, like it scared me. I was like, oh my. I let my rod tip down, but I kept the pressure on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, go back down. So I let her go back down, and I cranked her, got her a little bit closer to the boat. And then I grabbed my net, and I get my net out, got the rod tip up, get her in the net. I'm like, get in the net. Boom, get her in the net. And I sit my rod down, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I grabbed the net, because I had to grab it with both hands over the gunnel. Dude, this fish was unbelievably heavy. Like, it definitely did not feel like 8. It felt like 12.
Yeah.
And so I pick this thing up over the gunnel and get it between my legs, dude. You would have thought I had a 3-year-old in my net, dude. That's how big this fish was. Like, this fish was so big. It was so round.
Man. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is this? And I'm looking, and I'm like, that's a giant bass. And I'm like, oh my God. And I couldn't even function in the moment. Charlie is all the way on the other side of the lake. Yeah. Dude, I literally I didn't even pick the fish up out of the net. I picked the net up, I turned it sideways, so basically the net is hanging, but the mouth of the net is basically closing the top of the net off so that she can't get out. And I just sat her back in the water. I picked up my phone and I called Charlie. I said, Charlie, I need you to get over here to me right now. And he was like, I can hear it. And so he's like, is everything okay? Like, are you all right? Like, he thought maybe I flipped or something happened. I'm like, bro, I'm good, but I need you to get over here right now. It took Charlie 12 minutes to pedal back to me. Dude, I did not move. I literally sat there with that net in my hand and that fish laying in the water for 12 minutes while Charlie came over there. And when Charlie rolled up and he turned his headlamp on, he's like, dude, are you all right? He's like, what's going on? And I was like, bro. And I picked that fish up and he was like, dude, what is that? And I was like, I don't know, but it's huge. I reach in this thing, dude, and I pull this fish out of there, dude, and I'm not kidding. You'd have thought I had a Thanksgiving Day turkey in my hand, dude. That fish was so freaking big. And like, if you go to my Instagram page and scroll down, you'll see it's the only picture on there that's at nighttime, and it's red because all the lights from my deck. You will see how big this fish was. I threw that thing on the scale, dude. Unbelievable, bro. I was like, there's no way. I was like, this scale's got to be wrong. Because I put her on the board first. I put her on the board first. She went 22.5 inches, but this fish was every bit of 24 inches in girth. Humongous fish, dude.
Wow.
Just stupid. And Charlie is like, bro, he's like, that's a 10-pounder. That's got to be 10. I was like, dude, this thing's got to be 12, 13 pounds. The way this thing feels. I was like, this thing is too heavy.
Dude, look at that thing.
Yeah, bro. I mean, she ended up being, at 8 pounds, 8.1. So I believe it. But, dude, that was the last fish that I caught. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was the last fish that I caught in 2021. And then literally, so that was the day, literally New Year's Eve. I didn't fish again until January 1st. My first fish of 2022, I slapped a 7-pounder.
Wow. That's nuts. Dude, that picture is sick with those red deck lights, too. I love it.
It's crazy, man. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can see it's now dark behind you, and it's about that time for Slow Rolling Thunder and the final giveaway. So, I mean, we are not lying to you guys. We're going to double up this Monster Bass giveaway at the end of the show. So normally we do a $25 gift card. You're getting 2 of those. So you're getting $50. So that's good for anything on the monsterbass.com website other than the subscription itself. If you guys are looking for a subscription and you don't have one, use the code SAVE15, and that helps us out a lot if you use that code and the link in the description below. But other than that, you can buy anything on the site. They got tons of cool swag as well as all the tackle you could ever want. I'm liking the new tungsten kits. There's like Texas rig, Carolina rig, all sorts of cool stuff. So at any rate, guess what you got to do, guys? Oh, you put the picture up? Yeah, look at that picture, y'all. That's ridiculous. So yeah, you guys got to type something in chat, just like we've been asking the whole show for the other 2 giveaways. The other thing you could do if you want bonus points, go to Austin's Autistic Adventures up top. Then you can just click that link and then you can donate. You can also go to That Bass Fishing Dude's website and you can buy one of these cool shirts or maybe a cool hoodie. That would be fantastic as well.
If you win $50, I think you can go hook yourself up with a hoodie and then just take that out of your gift card. That's got to be fine, right? That's just math.
You're flush at that point. You're welcome. So yeah, you guys got to be typing stuff in there if you want to qualify. I did miss 2 super chats, so we're going to hit those before Slow Rolling Thunder. But you got to hang tight. When Slow Rolling Thunder's done, then we're going to draw that winner, and then we'll get your info. We'll send you that stuff. We'll be all good. So I don't want to miss the. Oh man, I already missed one. No. Well, there was one. So there was a $9.99 super chat from Brian Masters, and he said, "Take a kid fishing." So thank you for the super chat. Also, yes, take kids fishing. It's fantastic. You should do that. The other one's in Discord. Look at that. Well, thank you, Chaz, for being fantastic. Tom Alfred, aka Allred, says casting bubbles, trash or good intro for the spinning rod fly fishing wannabe. So what are we talking about?
I'm pretty sure casting bubbles. I'm pretty sure those are just clear
indicators.
Bobbers. No, those are clear bobbers.
Okay.
I use slip floats. Mostly salmon fishing, trout fishing, things like that. They were. I'll tell you right now, if I was going to use one of those clear, all clear bobbers, I would probably use it mostly for pan fishing and get the smallest one I could find, and that would be like a summertime gig. I find that mostly those are good for fish that are super line shy, like salmon, like trout, stuff like that. That's all I've ever used them for. And they usually actually are not completely clear through and through. They usually have a little bit of paint right at the top. So you get a little indicator just in case you get like one of those little micro bites. But those are good for anybody. They work really well because they just don't make the same visual disturbance on the water. So
true. Use any indicators, bobbers, or anything like that, Brandon, when you're fly?
I don't.
Conventional.
I don't actually. Whenever we were up at Broken Bow, I saw a lot of people that were doing that whenever they were nymphing. Most of the people that were up there catching a lot of the trout were nymphing. I wish that I had been nymphing. I probably would have caught a lot more fish. But
Fair enough.
I don't use any indicators. But I definitely next time we go up there, my actual NRS teammates. She's actually a guide up there, so we'll probably get up with her when we go up there next time and definitely try to get on some much bigger trout than we did on this last trip. But it was all about the experience for us. I mean, none of us had ever caught a trout. Nice. It was a blast, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, to really see how those little fish are so strong and powerful. I mean, to swim in the current the way that they do, dude, them things move, man. And I mean, like when you try to hold them, like, I try to, you get that, that IG photo for the gram, trying to take that trout hold photo. That thing is just like, you feel like you're trying to make a kid sit still, and it's just in your hand. Like, dang, bro, strong.
I'm not trying to change your diaper. I just want to take a picture, bro.
Just want to pick, dude. I'll put you back.
I'm telling you, craziness. But yeah, man, it was a blast.
I love it. I'm sure. What's that?
So that's a trip I definitely look forward to making. I mean, I'm gonna try to get up there with you guys. I mean, I heard big trout and catch one of those boys too.
Yeah, we got some fish up here. I mean, and you can join us, and we can go adventure fishing.
Yeah, bro. 100%.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, man. We'll make it happen, man. It may not happen this year, but it's definitely gonna happen.
I love it. Or you can go Oklahoma paddle fishing. That's what John said.
I'd do that too. I think I'd much rather catch a sturgeon than a paddlefish.
Ooh,
me too. That is on my bucket list, and I'm down right. I actually, all right. Before we go to Slow Rolling Thunder, I'm going to say this. One of the trips that's like a destination. Like I will do this before I kick the bucket. I want to go to Seattle. in the bays, you just get a big hunk of worm. You drop your line out, and you're literally in the bay with like ships coming and going, and there's sturgeon out there, and you can catch them from a kayak, and that's all I want to do. That's it. I just want to catch a sturgeon.
Can you imagine, dude?
Yes, I can.
Like
I've seen videos, and I don't want to. That's all I want to do. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot on my bucket list that I like. Yeah. I'm actually like, this is a thing that I'm going to do. That's one of them. That's a big one
man.
for me.
I'm with it, man. That's exactly how I am. I think about this stuff all the time, man. I'd love to get over to, Australia, New Zealand, chase Murray cod. Like, dude, there's a lot of craziness that I want to
GTs. Do. I want to go on the 6-plane chain and be on an island, and I want to catch GTs. And I don't care how much it costs me. And I don't care how much sunburn I get. It means nothing. I don't care.
Your skin will be gone.
I'll you know what? Just call it. I don't have to survive after it, so I'm good.
You're gonna sunburn so bad it'll be like the Thanos snap, and like you'll just disintegrate.
That's fine.
Like,
I'm fine being happen. A cloud. I'm fine of being cloud
You're
of dust.
A cloud of dirt.
That gets eaten by the GT that I'll soft release by poofing into nothing. I'm fine with that.
I'm not ready to go. I don't want to go. Okay,
I don't care. Bye.
All right, bye.
Slow rolling thunder.
All our episodes.
Slow rolling thunder. People are getting antsy. They want.
Well, let's do
it. $50 from Monster Bass. So, question number
one.
Hold
your horses.
Absolutely not. Hold your horses. Question number one: when you go fishing and you wear a fishing shirt, the long sleeve, sun shirt. Do you like to have, it's a preference question, do you prefer to have a hood attached to that shirt, or do you like to not have a hood attached to that shirt?
100% hood, man. I love to have the hood.
Okay, well that's great. Next question. I'm just kidding. we have a friendly. It's getting less friendly as time goes on.
Dominating. Okay. I am dominating this battle.
It's true. More people like the hood.
This is, by the way, Brandon, episode 111. So we've been having this battle since episode 25. It's a long run, and Chaz is keeping score for us, so it's been pretty hilarious. All right, next question.
All right, next question. The fishing footwear, and you're a kayak fisherman. So when you're kayak fishing, what's the footwear of choice when kayak fishing?
So if I'm not wearing my NRS boundary boots, I'm usually wearing like some Columbia water shoes that I have. They're not water shoes. They're like those. They look like boat shoes almost.
Yes,
but
they're like fancy slip-on boat
Vans
shoes.
Looks. Yeah, they kind of look like what Vans look like, but they're made out of like rubber. So they have like a really grippy sole on them.
Yep.
And they look really good. They look like a really nice casual shoe, but they dry out really, really fast, and they tread water really well as well. So.
Nice. I want to know which shoes those are, because that is actually, I've been testing out footwear for years when kayak fishing.
Yeah,
I haven't gone with those. I was this close. But the only reason I didn't do it, is the reason that I wear Crocs, is because when I'm in the absolute muck trash of life, which is where I'm at probably 60% of the time when I'm putting the kayak in or taking it out at a minimum, I have no fear whatsoever of being like, hey, look, I ruined my Croc, which is just like, it's a sponge with a pattern on it that just happens to be in the shape of my foot. So it's like not a big deal to ruin that. Versus like those Columbia shoes, they look like death after, it's got to be 2 weeks.
Well, no, see, the ones that so the thing is with you guys, y'all have a plethora of options. Y'all have normal sized people feet. I wear a size 15, so I'm very, very limited to my options that I have. Thankfully, NRS makes a size 15 boundary boot, and those are absolutely my number one go-to for most of the stuff when I'm on the water. But some days I feel like just sliding my foot into something, quick, and then just being out on the water with that. So those Columbia shoes, they work really, really well. I'll send you a picture and a link to them. Just on their website. I'm not partnered with a Columbia or anything like that, but so you can see which ones they are. But they literally just look like a casual shoe. I actually do wear them casually, even whenever I'm not on the water. I just throw them on and then just walk around them. But they're made out of like a rubbery kind of material.
I'm ready.
And they dry out really, really quickly. And they don't. Another thing is they don't hold odor. So that's another really, really great thing about them.
Jeff will put that to the test.
No,
I'll prove that wrong.
If you can stink those bad boys up, you got some funky feet.
Like I said,
you might be surprised.
Jeff will put those to the test. He has killed a truck. I've seen it happen. All right.
those were the old like canvas Crocs that they had for like a season, and they were bad.
I choked myself out just so that I wouldn't die.
They're so bad.
All right. I love this question. What app on your phone gets the most use that is not work or social media related?
That's not work or social media related. Does YouTube count as social media?
Absolutely social media. 1,000%.
Dominoes. I play dominoes a lot.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. I play dominoes a lot.
So is dominoes? This is slow rolling thunder. All right, I'm gonna move on. This is my only follow up question. Is it like online? Man. Is it like online multiplayer, or is it like you playing like your like parents or something?
No, it's 100% online multiplayer. I could play you guys if you download the app. You got it. I think it's on Android too.
You could kick the crap out of me because I don't know jack about dominoes.
I see.
But yes,
you're playing us.
100%.
I love it. All right, I want to do. Let's do the giveaway. Okay. Only because it's already 9:40. Chaz, can you roll the giveaway?
Chaz, can you roll the giveaway? Chaz goes, what was that? I just got back, you guys.
He was in the bathroom.
Michael Romero.
Oh my gosh.
The Ned Rig nerds are coming in strong.
Michael Romero, I just sent you a gift card because Rafi took so long. Rafi took like 3 weeks to get me Michael Romero's gift card.
But you're getting 2 more.
You're getting 2 more, man. So you now have $75 to spend on monsterbass.com. That's pretty rad, bro.
Not bad.
So I have your info. I have your email. And I'm just going to send it to that. Look, he said Bass for Cast. I don't know what that means, but I love it. So you're here. Cool. So yeah, we'll take care of you, bro. Now, y'all, thank you for helping us with raising some funds for Austin's autistic adventures. If you haven't had a chance to donate, please definitely consider doing so. Go up to the link up there. And also, if you haven't ordered one of these dope shirts and or youth shirts and or also the sweater, you should definitely do that. It has a hood on it, right, Paul? That's your favorite thing.
It does have a hood, and it's on the way.
Yeah,
it's already in the mail.
That's why we made the hoodie this year, because we know there's Northerners that y'all got those longer than normal winters. So we made a hoodie for y'all this year. It's normally just a T-shirt, but this year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a hoodie out this year, and it's been probably one of the more popular items. But
I got one.
Man, I really want to tell y'all thank you so much, man. Y'all absolutely killed it tonight. Y'all really did, and I'm so unbelievably grateful for that. Thank y'all so much for the support on this campaign, man. Y'all really make this possible for me to be able to give back to my community in this manner. And again, I am sincerely grateful for it. Thank y'all so much to everybody that bought a shirt tonight, that donated something. I mean, simplest form of support is sharing the campaign, but you guys absolutely knocked it out of the park. Thank y'all so much. And thank y'all for having me on here and giving me the opportunity to put this out there for everyone.
Heck yeah, man. Absolutely. Like, we really appreciate the time. We love what you're doing, man. It's, a cause that we can easily get behind because it's something that we already have been behind. And we love to spread the word on like all the organizations that are out there and the people that are pulling the strings and helping make that stuff happen. So we appreciate you for being on. And real quick, and, again, guys, go buy a shirt. I'm going to buy a hoodie because I know we had like 2 or 3 extra super chats that snuck in there, even though I said, don't do that today, you guys, do it next week or do it the week after that and every other time. But I'll buy a hoodie. So I'll buy a hoodie. I got you guys covered. That way we can contribute. But where can people find you, Brandon? Like anything else that you got going on, any trips you got coming planned up? Like I know you're doing the 1 to 2 like really, really high quality videos. So give us a preview of what's next for the folks in chat. And guys, go follow this dude.
The next thing that's coming up is the Oklahoma trip. So there's a 3-part series that's going to be dropping. First video will be going live premiere on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it'll be late for you guys, but maybe we'll kick that up a little bit just in case some of y'all want to jump on there and join and watch it during dinner. But yeah, you can find me basically everywhere. That Bass Fishing Dude. You can literally just type it in Google and it'll pop up with any and every single thing that I'm attached to. And yeah, I mean, that's it. So the next thing up is the Oklahoma trip. Then obviously this tournament, the tourney season videos, actually, they come out every single month. Then following from that, the Autism Day on the Water is in June. The first weekend of June, we'll be doing this year's the second annual Autism Day on the Water, where we'll be introducing the organization again and its new members to paddle sports and fishing, which will be an absolute blast. We film this, so if you guys want to check out what we did last year, there's a video on my YouTube channel where you'll be able to check that out. What we did last year for the org, and we'll be doing it again this year, but it'll be exponentially larger than last year with a lot more media coverage and a lot more fun. And really looking forward to that. And then we got ICAST in July, so that's
awesome,
just my next 3 months coming up.
I love it. I also love the fact that you were like, yeah, so the whole year's planned out. And then I looked at Paul in my screen window and I was like, what have we planned, Paul?
20 minutes pulled out. What's up?
Not even that. Not even that. Yeah.
It's really great for organization, man, to be honest. I mean, even, with you guys being the size that you are, dude, it makes things so much easier if especially whenever you think about it, we're all married men with families, jobs outside of this. I wish that fishing was my 100% day to day, but it's not.
Right.
So being able to plan all of this stuff out, put it in front of my wife and my family, so that my wife knows that, hey, I'm out of pocket on these dates through the year. We can plan our family life around that stuff. Because we do have obligations when it comes to this fishing thing. Because there are things that we are obligated to do when it comes to this, but again, we're still obligated to give that time back to the family as well. So having that structure in place, that content strategy set up for the whole year, so that there's no guesswork that's going on or that comes up. Obviously things are going to pop up. You may add another brand partner to the mix and they want you to jump out and do something, but having that baseline already ready to rock and roll for the whole year is it's seriously going to set you up for success through the year.
Yeah,
it's something I think you guys should definitely check out. And if y'all got questions about how to set something up like that, man, just holler at me. I'm always available. And that's one of the things about me that I try to ensure is that I'm available. That's another thing that people will note, that everyone will tell you about me, is that I'm not one of those creators that I'm out here on social media and I never respond to anybody. I make a point to reply to every single comment that is left on my post. I make a point to respond to every single DM that people send me. I make a point to, to give that back. We do a live stream on my Instagram every single Wednesday. Not every single Wednesday. I missed it yesterday because of tournament prep. But, for the most part, they are very consistent, every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. But, yeah, man, it's like, I give that time back to the people that support me, because, I wouldn't be here without them. That's what's important to me. So, if you ever need some help with anything, dude, feel free to reach out anytime.
Heck yeah, man. And definitely appreciate the sentiment. That is something that we also try to get behind. Everybody gets
Thank God for Instagram filter the comments.
Right? That is so money. So at any rate, you guys have been fantastic tonight. Thank you so much for the support, for supporting the cause. Again, go check out Austin Autistic Adventures, as well as that Bass Fishing Dudes website. Go follow them everywhere, you guys. And also stay tuned for those sick videos that are dropping. And P.S. The _Burly hype man - need more members only nights. He super chats and he goes, "You can't tell me what to do." Classic move. Should have expected that from you, and I would never expect anything less. He says Brandon's a fantastic guest, and he already bought a shirt. So there you go. We got some more support.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, chat, you guys are awesome. Thank you for always showing up to support, anybody that we bring onto the show who is, here for a good cause. You guys are awesome. We love you. And are we doing next week? What are we doing next week, Paul? See, we need a calendar. Wait.
I already know what
we need one that I pay attention to.
I already know what the show is for next week. It's going to be 3 things I hate about you, and I'm not joking. That's actually what the show is. It's going to be super fun.
Is it about me?
Yeah.
3 things. It's just going to be, all right, so you'll be on, I won't be here, and you're just going to talk trash about me. You guys, next week is going to be great. Stay tuned for that. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, for supporting the cause. Brandon, thank you so much for your time and everything that you're doing. Paul, thanks for nothing. Chaz, take us out of here. Love you guys.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and
while, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. And so I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street.